It's crazy to me how everyone in Texas is all about stand your ground and self-defense until that person doesn't look like me. This case is racially charged, and stick with me here. If the roles were reversed, if Karmelo Anthony was 220 pounds with his twin brother picking on a white kid, putting hands on a white kid, and he got unalived, y'all would say that he got exactly what was coming to him, and if he would have kept his hands to himself, he would still be here today.
When black folks decide to put money and support behind a young brother who didn't start a fight, who didn't threaten nobody, who was sitting where he could have right to be sitting, was threatened more than one time, was physically attacked, he defends himself, and then all of a sudden he's in jail. But guess what, brother? We gonna stand behind ours like you white folks stand behind you.
Yes, this guy will be found guilty and there will be chaos because a lot of people are using this to raise bait. When you take a look at the whole situation, like what is going on now, I have watched thousands of videos that are putting out about this whole situation, and I know a lot of people's mind when it concerns this. Do you know that this family of Carmelo is still demanding money? According to this article from the Daily Mail, staggering sum family of teen Karmelo Anthony has received from strangers and they still want more. When I look at the article, I read through it, which I'm going to show you what exactly is going on at the end of this video.
It's crazy to me how everyone in Texas is all about stand your ground and self-defense until that person doesn't look like me. This case is racially charged, and stick with me here. If the roles were reversed, if Karmelo Anthony was 220 pounds with his twin brother picking on a white kid, putting hands on a white kid, and he got unalived, y'all would say that he got exactly what was coming to him, and if he would have kept his hands to himself, he would still be here today. You can't tell me that race isn't a thing because it's in my TikTok comments and I've seen hundreds of comments on Facebook. So if you flip this scenario and Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor in this situation and your opinion changed, you are racially biased. And to the white people in my comments calling me a white savior, God forbid I have empathy. If you're RICS, just say that and move on. In my last video, I said I didn't know why Karmelo Anthony was sitting under that tent. Turns out it started raining and Karmelo got permission from the coach. That's not even his school. He got permission from a coach to sit under that tent. Granted, it's free seating, but he got specific permission. And don't get me wrong, it's absolutely tragic that Austin lost his life. His parents lost their son. No parent should have to ever lose their kid. But it makes me think, what would have happened if Austin and Hunter would have left Karmelo alone and not talked to him, not approached him, not instigated a situation and then escalated it by putting hands on him? Because y'all want to say, oh, it's not self-defense. Austin and his brother are 220-pound football players, and Karmelo was 130 pounds. If you can't visualize that, I'm 180. I got 50 pounds on the kid. Not only were they both in his face, but one of them put hands on him. He was scared. I feel like Austin and Hunter were looking for trouble because if they were really so aggravated by this kid sitting there for whatever reason, they would have gotten an adult to remove him. They wouldn't have approached him, talked shit, and put hands on him. I'll probably get crucified for this, but I don't care. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Well, folks, we are officially at the halfway point of justice as none other than Karmelo Anthony has officially been charged. Now, first and foremost, I think it's important to know that not only has he been charged for the crimes at hand or alleged crimes at hand, but he has been charged as an adult, which means he will be doing adult time if convicted of these charges. So further information that has come out is that he has been charged with of the first degree, which only makes sense because according to his own testimony on the day of, that's exactly what it was. This is not a case of self-defense. This is essentially a case of whether or not that video footage and other evidence will lead to what most of us already know. What that also means is that if he is indeed convicted, he will likely be doing 25 to life. Now, some people may think that this is unfair. This is a teenager who just simply made a mistake. But the reality is this. This is a young man who made a choice that unfortunately may lead to him spending the rest of his life in prison. And I hope this can stand as a cautionary tale as opposed to another opportunity to act a damn victim. It's a message for y'all, BLM. This is not the victim. The victim is no longer here with us.
He is right. The victim is not here with us to talk, give his opinions on what actually happened, or defend himself. Karmelo took the decision to himself, okay, this is the best way I can do, take away his life. But these people are turning everything round. It's like Karmelo Anthony is now the victim instead. That is what I've said. It makes my blood boils when I see videos of people saying this self-defense, self-defense. There was nothing like that. Let's just imagine that they were all alive. At least the conversations could have been balanced. While we are talking, putting our videos on social every day, the parent of Austin's are in tears. There is nothing that can bring back this guy. Yes, whatever thing we are doing here is just that we should see justice. People race baiting the topic, it is something we should not do. I understand the sentiment attached to this whole situation.
White people have always felt that they had jurisdiction over the black body. It goes back to the plantation days, Art. The problem with this case is the stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. The stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. It was never intended for black people to use the stand your ground law to defend themselves against white people. And guess what, Art? White people don't care whether or not Karmelo is justified or not. They don't care. Even if it is proven that Karmelo acted in self-defense.
To be honest, I hope more charges add up while he goes. You know, something like premeditated, because that's what it was. It was premeditated. He planned it in his head the entire time. Wounding with intent, and possibly wounding with intent causing somebody else. So Texas is on track to do the right thing, because you got to call a spade a spade. And regardless of all the dancing from the left online, what it was that Karmelo Anthony planned on taking somebody's life, and he went to that event and took the life of Austin Metcalf. See, my father did 10 years in prison for selling a little bit of. They gave him more time, but he served 10 years just for selling. I don't see why this guy shouldn't do hard and solid time for taking someone else's life. Now, I was hoping that they would have charged him as an adult and give him the maximum penalty, which is life. And honestly, I have seen, talks here and there saying that they will be charging him as an adult, but this is the internet, and sometimes you gotta pick and choose, or you gotta look for the right information, because you can literally find anything you want to find on the internet. But it is official. He have been charged with of someone else, because self-defense where? Yeah, so all their charade and parade is over, because their activist buddy from the Next Generation Action Network, or
When you take a look at this, more than $500,000 have been donated online to help confessing Karmelo Anthony, who is charged with an Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Texas through an online platform called Give Send Go. Supporters of the suspect have raised $533,000 as of Tuesday. However, Anthony's embattled family is still hoping to get even more money, raising the goal threshold several times to its current amount of $600,000. Donations, most ranging from 20 to 100, have poured in from coming across the country as the case has gained national attention, becoming a flashpoint about race and privilege. Now, they are still demanding money, which I thought they have stopped. A lot of people say they will give back this money. I don't know how. If you watch this video very carefully, you realize the two people doing everything to sabotage the whole situations are involved. We've seen Dr. Omar, what he says about white people, comparing it to blacks. Like I said, everything about this case is now centered about race. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly for the clips. You see, after here, they are mainly for the YouTube algorithm. You can share the video and end here if you want.
Who effing who?
People line up for my advice.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize?
Just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult.
There's something wrong with this person. And actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
What did you make of Donald Trump's post this morning alleging
justice will prevail?
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Karmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one.
Because she's fearful of what might happen.
and then
Registration Act is
talking about this man,
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
First term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Karmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't